my secretary updates these notes, but I see here that today what you're wanting to talk about is health anxiety. Am I correct? Perfect. At least I'm doing my job properly. So, I guess you've noticed it too, huh? You know, just how it's starting to get colder outside, and you're starting to have to bundle up a bit more. I mean, of course, some people across the pond, they get it a little bit easier. They've got, their warm weather, some of them all year round, but around here, and, what can I say? We gotta deal with that coolness. We're the coolest ones around. But, joking aside, as it gets colder out, you might get a cold as well. Or the flu, or I don't even know how much people still get it, but stuff like COVID, you know, just things that we kind of have to deal with. And I was thinking, while I can't directly relate to your individual experience, what I can do is give you some examples of times that I dealt with severe health anxiety as well. And upon hearing those, maybe you can take what I have to tell you, transfer it to your own situation, and maybe, in that way, we can work through this together. What do you say? Perfect. So, how long have you been dealing with this health anxiety? It's an ongoing thing. I understand. Was there a specific traumatic incident which caused this? Well, let me take you back a bit. Remember 2020? COVID. It was going around everywhere. Everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was afraid. People were scared to even see their friends because they didn't know if they might get it themselves. It was around that time for me that it really intensified, the health anxiety. I remember people would stockpile on toilet paper. You couldn't find gloves, toilet paper, masks, of course. It took me months to be able to find some masks. What else? Hand sanitizer. Remember how everyone was just introducing all these new untested hand sanitizers, and half the time they smelled like vodka. They probably were a vodka. Like, come on. But you know what the interesting thing is? Despite all that fear, despite all that isolation, I never got COVID. Not one time. I thought I did. I spent day and night worried sick, feeling physical symptoms. My feet began to freeze and get Raynaud's phenomenon, which is where there's like a lack of blood flow and they turn white. It looks almost like early stage frostbite. I had issues walking, my legs went numb, my body went numb, shaking, problems breathing. I thought, I've got it for sure. So I booked an appointment to get the test done. Went down to this great big renovated apartment building they basically hollowed out and made into this improvised medical structure, like a fake hospital testing ground thing. They just took this empty building, filled it up with a few nurses, made a few makeshift offices, and there you go. I was worried sick for weeks when I had to wait to get the testing done. So I walked in, they did the instant test, and negative. And you know what the interesting thing is? Shortly after that, bizarre things. They're almost like, think of a sort of placebo. Now, if you don't know what a placebo is, it's basically where you trick someone into thinking they're seeing the effects of something, when really, there's nothing there. A common example is, instead of giving you a prescribed medication, giving you like a sugar pill or something that doesn't have any actual medicine in it, but the brain still thinks that you're taking the medicine, and because of that, you still feel the effects. They've actually done tests on this, the placebo effect. It's a real thing. And I think that we can kind of apply that to our fears when it comes to health issues. You'll start to actually feel as though you're getting sick. These symptoms that you read about, shortness of breath, cough, these things can actually start happening to you. But in reality, it's a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's a little bit of anxiety causing your brain to make your body go into overdrive. Now, when I say self-fulfilling prophecy, do you know what that is? Think of like someone thinks that something negative is going to happen to them. They're sure of it. And what they don't realize is they're slowly steering themselves towards that outcome. And even though they don't want it, they doom themselves to go straight towards it. I'm sure that you've done things like assume that you've developed a severe, serious illness, and then you start Googling. You see that WebMD lists a couple things, and you think to yourself, wait a minute, I think that I've got this. This relates to me. Now I'm worried. So you start Googling more. You start searching on subreddits. You start looking at Wikipedia articles, statistics, things that start to make you worry, start to make those wheels turn. When you get to that point that you start Googling, stop. When you find yourself beginning to spiral, take a step back. I want you to think about the fact that there could be a million other reasons why you're feeling the way you're feeling. I'll give you an example with me. Sometimes I get worried about terminal illnesses, things like that. But when that happens and I see things like, oh, I have petechia on my arms, what are some other things that could cause that? Well, autoimmune disorders, just sleeping on your arm too hard, sleeping on a certain part of the body too hard. Maybe you could have scraped yourself, hit yourself on something which caused bleeding in the little capillaries under your skin. Something that maybe you didn't even realize happened. Something small. But because you and me, we worry about these things so much and we hyperfixate, we start to thinking, wait a minute. This is indicative of something serious. This is bad. When you find yourself spiraling, give it a week where you just monitor. If that goes well, give it 2 weeks. If at the 2-week point you're still worried, I would recommend calling your general practitioner or going to a walk-in clinic, or if you must, an urgent care clinic. Now, if you're feeling obvious severe pain, that's different. Of course, you'll know the pain will something like that. But if it's a situation where you feel like you just have this fear, hold off. Wait. See if the symptoms persist. And once they do, that's when you want to go to medical practitioners. Because the unfortunate thing is, have you heard of the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf? As much as it saddens me to say, doctors are people. If you keep going to them superfluously, way more than you need to, eventually they're going to think, oh, well, this person, maybe they just are a hypochondriac. They worry about everything. And when that happens, they might not take things as seriously. Do you understand? But luckily, if you just ground yourself, take time to wait, give it a week, give it 2 weeks, monitor, maybe you'll realize, wait a minute, this is something I don't have to worry about. And you can step back and say, because I waited, now I didn't go to the doctor as often as I usually do. If you're like me, you were a frequent flyer to the doctor's office. And because you didn't go there as much, when you do go there, the doctors will think, wait a minute, this isn't like him or her. Maybe we should do a little more testing, you see. And I wish it wasn't like that. But sadly, that's just kind of how people are, I've found. You want, and you should look up to healthcare professionals, people like the police, firefighters, people who sometimes, remember going back to COVID, doctors were getting sick. They were working overtime. They were putting their lives on the line to help other people. Look up to people like that. But also keep in mind, these people are fallible. They're human. And they're prone to the same pitfalls everyone is. They can become judgmental. They can start to think, oh, hey, this person's loony, when that's not the case. We only have one life, of course. And if you're like me with your health anxiety, you think to yourself, I haven't done everything that I want to do yet. I haven't even started. Believe me, I know how that feels. You have to try and ground yourself, because you are the only one who has your back 100% of the time. You know you do, right? So you just have to be strong for yourself. One thing that I've taken to doing recently, no matter if I feel like I've got a cold, no matter if I've got like a chest infection or something, as long as it's like not transmittable, if I just feel run down or whatever, I find myself getting up out of bed, going and doing the things I need to do, and just trying to keep functioning. And so far, for the most part, I've found that I'm able to do it, and the worries go away. Lately I've been dealing with something, a lot of sweating, things like that, and it worries me. I do think about it a lot, and I have had to go to the doctor about it. I waited, I'm still waiting, and I'm trying to just remain calm, because I want you to also factor this in. What is freaking out about it going to do? It can't change the situation. All you can do is wait and try everything you can to better yourself. I talk about this a lot. This is where I need to be trying as well. All that I can do right now is try and change my diet, keep a positive outlook, try to exercise, try to do things that can put me in the best optimal health in a given circumstance that I can be. And I want you to do that too if you worry about other slow building health issues. Like, does diabetes run in your family? Do thyroid issues like I have run in your family? These are things you can monitor, and while you can't always change them, you can keep them kind of at bay, keep them optimal. Now, of course, if you find that you have like diabetes or something, take your medication, keep monitoring your blood levels and things like that. But if you keep your mindset positive, that's the first step. And there's that saying, the best time to do something is yesterday, the second best time is now. So why not? You can spend your time being worried, or you can spend your time in the present, making positive changes which can help you down the line. That's what I'm trying to do as well. I can actually give you an example of when health issues were serious. So for a while, I just had no appetite. Months. I found that I just couldn't eat. I started to feel constant panic. I'd be shaking, unable to move, unable to, speak. Complete, full-body panic attack. And then there was a time when even if I could, leave the house, it would start. The panic attacks. Feeling in my chest. Constant. And then, after a couple of months, it wouldn't go away. I thought, this is really bad. What did I do? I went to the doctor, asked for just a routine complete blood count. And they caught the fact that my TSH levels were out of whack. They did a few more tests, and eventually I was referred to an endocrinologist. When I was there, the doctor read my stuff, said, you have something called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And I was able to go onto some medication, and over time, I started to feel better, and better, and better. And there were some scary times. There was one time I ate something, and it wasn't an allergic reaction, but I just felt my entire face start to burn and tighten up. And I didn't know what it was. I went, got checked out. The only thing that I can think is that it was related to my thyroid somehow, but since then, and knock on wood, I haven't had anything like that happen. But even when that was happening, I tried my best. Remain upright. Get up. Do what you gotta do, but remain calm. So I want you to try. Next time you feel a panic coming on, a fear, remain smart, safe, but not scared. So I want you, remember when I said try, waiting 2 weeks, if it's something that's not severely urgent, like a severe pain, or a pain that goes down your arm. If it's something that you feel it does worry you, but it's not super urgent, wait 2 weeks, monitor the symptoms, and see how it goes.